Okay, good evening everyone. So we are on the 14th session of this training and third session on GST. So today we will look at, apart from the basic transactions of your purchase, sales, debit note or credit note or your expense entries and various things, what are the other adjustment entries that you need to make, need to enter, what are all the other adjustment entries that Tally supports. Okay, then how do you file the returns, what reports that you get is what we will look at. Okay, so before we get into the today's session, I want to know, are there any questions with respect to previous sessions on GST? There are any questions, this is the time to ask. You will get a minute time. Okay, you could ask the questions or you could put it on chat. You could look at that and further continue.
Mahesh, I just wanted to one clarification. I lost my concentration last time when you were taking GSTR3B.
Okay.
GSTR3B.
Okay.
Can you just briefly? Can you just explain to me, like, to who wants to listen? Is okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
If time permits you, otherwise I can ask you later also.
No problem. We will do it. We will do it. Okay. So Tally is already logged in with your data. Okay, so this is the data that we used yesterday to do the data entries. So GSTR 3B is basically a monthly or a quarterly report based on which you are filing the returns, which will contain both your outward supplies and the inward supplies. Okay, so it will give you a overall summary of the GST that you have collected in outward supplies and the GSTs that you have paid in inward supplies. Since the GST you would have paid in different heads like CGST or SGST or IGST or the cess that you would have paid up, you will also get a breakup of under what head either you have deducted or paid. Okay, so this will help you to analyze your net payable or net receivable of the GST for that particular period.
Okay.
So if you want to look at that report, you could just go to and type GSTR3B,
Okay,
which is a monthly or a quarterly report based on your setup of your company. Okay, so this is what it is showing.
Okay.
So always this GSTR3, whatever GSTR1 or 2 or 3B, whatever you look at, in Tally on the top, you will have the summary of the transaction about the count statistics. This has 17 vouchers. Okay, all 17 are participating in this report. Okay, and if there are any ambiguity or error, it will show in the uncertain transaction, which requires the correction.
Okay.
Then
now, by any chance, this information that we are storing in Tally, can this GST or the authorities will they be able to look into this data by any chance? No.
This data is in your computer.
Nobody can.
Until you give the access of your computer, no one can look at it.
No one can do that. Okay.
Okay. But anyhow, this data you can extract and upload it to GST Portal. That is what you're supposed to do on a monthly or a quarterly basis. And that will be accessible for the department.
Okay.
Okay. So this GSTR 3B, so here it is showing outward supplies, which is basically your sales or the credit note or whatever the transactions that you have done. Then it will show the supply shown in the details of unregistered person, sales of unregistered person. Then it is showing you eligible ITC, that is input tax credit, which is your input tax basically, and value of the exempted related goods, which is showing. Then if there are any interest or late fee payable, then if there are any amount in reverse charges or import. Okay, so this is the data. Now you could also click on Alt F1 and get into detail. Example, if you say an outward, under what head? 3.1 A, B, C, D, E, F, like that you will get the breakup. Similarly, for your input tax credit also, you will get the breakup. Import of goods, import of services, or other ITCs. That is, ITC represents input tax credit. Okay, so which is available. Then it's also showing you the net ITC available, the total of ITC available. Then you need to compute your payable, GST payable. Okay. So here, if you want the tax-wise breakup, you could click on configure and say show each separate column, tax in separate column, which will typically show you the IGST, CGST, SGST, and cess amount in a separate column.
Okay.
This is your GSTR3.
Oh, thank you.
This is clear?
Yeah, pretty clear.
Yeah. Okay. So are there any other questions from any other participants?
Sir, Narendra here.
Yes, Narendra.
So this, how do we do the input output reco, sir?
How to do the input output reco. Okay. So today we'll explain that. We'll look into how do we do that input output reconciliation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So today we will discuss on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Are there any more questions from any of the participants? Okay. So if there are any questions, you could put it on chat or take it up at the end of this session, with respect to yesterday's session. In today's discussion, if you have any queries, then and there you could chat and ask the query. Okay. So we'll move towards the third session of the GST and 14th session in the current training program. Okay, we are still dealing with the GST. So today, the purpose of the training is again the same explanation to ensure that all the participants have the detailed understanding of TallyPrime, and it will help them in their business to increase the efficiency and eliminate duplication of work. So this is the purpose and the objective in which we are driving this training. Okay, so I'll do one thing. First 2-3 minutes, I will run the whole presentation. Then we will go back to Tally, look at each of these points, and then revert back on the presentation, whether are we covering all this. So yesterday we looked at all the basics of transaction, how to update the transaction, how it will appear in our GST reports, either in GSTR1 or 2 or 3B. Today, we will look at what are all the other adjustment entries that we could do. Okay, so GST adjustment entries in respect to increase or decrease in tax liability. Okay, the nature of adjustments and additional details. This is one thing that today we'll look at. Then we will look at detailing of GSTR2 and how do we reconcile the GSTR2 which is available with us, which the input tax which is available with us, and how much of input tax is available on GST portal, and how could we reconcile our books with the GST portal. So this we will look at today. Once when we do this, then we could also look at GST payable adjustments. How do we do the GST payable adjustment? Okay, because we have GST in different heads. We have CGST, we have SGST and IGST. How do we adjust these things is what we will look at. And then how do we make a payment, GST payable? How do we do a payment entry in Tally with respect to GST payable? And how do we file GSTR1? How do we upload GSTR1 statement? And how do we file GSTR1 on the GST portal? How do we upload GSTR3B? Before GSTR3B, how do we do the reconciliation that we have already discussed at that point of time? And how do we do online payments? And how do we file our GSTR3B reports? So these are all the points that we will cover. And of course, what are all the reports that we have in GST that we are seeing on a daily basis. So from today's session, it is not just about your Tally data that you will have. You should also start cross-verifying with your GST portal. Okay. So you need to have continuous access to GST portal to cross verify what is in your books versus what is available in the GST portal. Okay, so first let's get into GST adjustment entries. On what, in which scenarios you require GST adjustment entries? In any scenario where you want to increase your tax liability or decrease your tax liability without affecting your input and output transactions. The transactions that's already available, like your accounting of your expense booking or your sales entry or your revenue entry, without affecting those transactions, if you want to do any other adjustment, either to increase your liability or to decrease your liability, you need to pass the GST adjustment entries. So how do we do the GST adjustment entries? I will show it to you on Tally. All the adjustment entries in GST, you need to make through journal entry. Okay, when you log into Tally, okay, go to the voucher on gateway of Tally, okay, and get into your journal. So it is not, though it is just a debit and credit that you will be passing, you should also know why you are passing this and what will be the effect of which ledger gets debited, which ledger gets credited is what you want to know.
Yeah.
So for that, you need to do is when you get into journal entry, on the right hand side, you have a shortcut menu for stat adjustment, that is statutory adjustment. On the right hand side bottom, you can see there is a statutory adjustment, or you could also use the shortcut key as Alt J. Okay, once when you click on the statutory adjustment, it is asking for which tax and duty type that you are doing the adjustment entry. Okay, if you have enabled multiple taxations, it will show all the taxations, whichever you have enabled. Currently, we have just enabled only GST, so it is showing GST. Then the nature of adjustment, what nature of adjustment that you are doing. So there are some pre-populated lists that is available. Decrease in tax liability, in any case you want to decrease your tax liability, you could use that. Okay, and say example, if you say, I'll tell you why do you need to decrease a tax liability. Say example, you have paid, you have sold to, you have exported an item. Example, you take, you have exported an item and you have charged the IGST. So the IGST refund comes back. Now, because the IGST refund has come back, you need to decrease your liability. So that is no longer available. So you need to decrease the liability. In that case, this is one of the example I'm just giving. There are many more business scenarios under which you want to decrease your tax liability. So if you want to decrease your tax liability, say example, okay, you just select decrease tax liability, then it will ask for the additional details. What is the reason? Adjustment against a credit, you already have a credit, you want to adjust that, or cancellation of advance payment under reverse charges, or purchases against advance receipt. Okay, in these cases, you could decrease your tax liability. Similarly, you could select any of these types, increase in input tax credit. For any reason you want to increase the input tax credit, because either you have purchased from an unregistered dealer or various other reasons, import of capital goods, import of services, import of goods, ISD transfer, others, purchase from SEZ, purchase under reverse charges, TCS, TDS adjustments, or transactional credit, or reclaim under ITC under Rule 42(2)(b). Okay, so these are all specific to GST laws. Okay, you need to know, these are the fine tune of GST laws that you need to know. That is the reason this all comes under the adjustment entries, and the reasoning for this will be, if you are the best person to give the reasoning for all these things will be either your tax consultant or your chartered accountants or your GST experts you might have in-house. Okay, so this will help you in finalizing your returns basically. Okay, so what you could also do is, Okay, I will share one document with you people, okay, which talks about the GST adjustment. So if you look at this document, okay, so this document contains the complete GST adjustment, how you need to pass an entry. So when will you decrease the tax liability? Okay, so in what instances you will decrease the tax liability? Adjust against a credit, ledgers to be debited and credited. Okay, so it is explaining you, explained in the recorded journal voucher for adjustment of against tax credit under GST. So in case of cancellation of advance payment, you could do that. Debit central and state tax or integrated tax and cess ledger, credit expense or credit asset ledger. So similarly for each of this, there is an explanation which account needs to be debited and which accounts needs to be credited, so that it will get auto updated in your GST reports. Okay, so what I would do is, rather than taking up each of these things, I will share this document with all of you. Okay, in the group I'll share, you could go through this document, because all will not be applicable for all kind of business. Only specific nature of transactions will be applicable for your business. So you can identify those things, only those transactions you can know which account needs to be debited and which account needs to be credited, and how do you pass this entries. Okay, because if I start explaining each one of it, this itself will take around 4 days for me to take scenarios and explain to you. Okay, so this has some all the kind of adjustments, the explanation is given here in this document. You could refer this document, and whichever is applicable for your business, you could take those transactions and pass the transaction intact. Is that okay with you? And most of the time it comes only to do an adjustment entry to close your monthly or quarterly returns. That's it. Okay, hope this should be fine with you people. Okay, so for that you have to use the journal entry with the statutory adjustment and select the relevant adjustment entries. Yes, Raghu, in most of the time your CAs or the tax consultant will take care of this. You need not worry about this, but you should know. Okay, so that is the reason I'm just explaining to you people. You should know, but the actual entries, they will compute and they will say what entries has to be carried out in your books of accounts. Okay, so once when you pass this adjustment entries, that will automatically start affecting your books of accounts and your returns, GST returns. So the next portion that you will take up is, after this, is your Gstr2 reconciliation. So this Gstr2 reconciliation is what? What is this Gstr2 reconciliation? This is your input tax credit. For all the purchases and the expenses that you have done, which is admissible for your business, you can take an input tax credit. So example, I'll just give you. I'm purchasing material from Akbar worth 1 lakh rupees at 18% tax, which is 18,000 rupees. Now I'm paying Akbar 1,18,000 rupees. While I have paid 1,18,000 to Akbar, Akbar is supposed to declare this as a sale and pay that 18,000 whatever he has collected from me to the government at the end of the month or subsequent month. Okay. Now let us assume for some reason he has not uploaded this transaction and this 18,000 is not paid. So according to GST law, can I take the input tax credit? Will government give me the input tax credit? Can anyone answer? Yes or no? Yeah, no is the answer. Government doesn't give me the input tax credit because Akbar has not filed his returns and he has not declared that. If Akbar has not declared, the government is very clear nowadays, and they have also brought in some of the notifications for this. They are saying if your supplier fails to file his returns, if your supplier fails to file his returns, then you will be denied of your input tax credit. Okay, so example I'll tell you. I'll give you one more example. We are into Tally software sales. Okay, so Tally, the software is charged at 18% in 18% GST. Okay, so the software cost is 18,000 rupees and 18% GST is 3,240 rupees is the tax on 18,000 rupees that we charge. So tomorrow morning, Vijay will call me and say, Mahesh, I want to buy one Tally. Please supply this Tally to me. So I will supply one Tally to him. I'll give one invoice. I am billing him 18,000 rupee product value. On that, 3,240 is the tax. I am billing him the total value of 21,240. So he will pay me. Okay, so either he does a bank transfer or he pays me in cash, whatever the way he does the payment. In the next month filing, when I'm filing May month GST, okay, there are two things that might happen. One is I might completely fail to file my May month returns. I have not even filed my May month of return. Or I have filed my May month of returns, but I have not included the Bijoy's transaction. Both are possible. Now let me take scenario one where I have not filed my returns. But Bijoy is filing his returns for the month of May and he is saying, I have paid 3,240 to Mahesh, so I want to claim that input tax credit, while Mahesh has not filed his returns. Now, government will simply say that, sorry Bijoy, we can't give you the input tax credit because your supplier has not filed the returns. Now the problem is, Bijoy has paid me the 3,240. I have kept in my pocket. I have not paid to government. Now government is asking to pay Bijoy once again because Bijoy has done a purchase. Since I have not uploaded, that has by default become purchase from unregistered dealer. So Bijoy has paid me 3,240 that I have failed to pay to government. Now since Bijoy has filed his returns, the government is questioning him and saying you have made a purchase of 18,000 rupees, but since Mahesh has not paid, it's your duty to pay. Okay, now in this case, who is under loss? Bijoy is under loss. Okay, now if the same thing happens next month, will Bijoy come back to me? Will he refer his friend? Okay, will he take any services from me? Very unlikely. Okay, he'll say no, Mahesh doesn't even file his returns. I'm losing 18% tax on that. So his cost will go up. Now, what this Gstr2 reconciliation does is, for all the purchases that I have made, I want to cross check in my GST portal whether my suppliers have uploaded it or not. And I need to do the reconciliation in this system to understand all my purchases, whether has it been uploaded or not, can I get that credit? Okay, so for this, let us take an example. So what I will do is, okay, I will show you live of the data which is available on GST portal versus what is the data available in our books of accounts, not on the sample data, but on my company live data. Because my company has the live data and my company also has a GST login details, we can actually take the data live and do a reconciliation, and online we can check how simple is it to do a Gstr2 reconciliation on Tally. Right? Okay, so we'll do one thing. So we will come out of this for time being. Okay, so this is the training tally. I'll just close this training tally. I don't need this training tally. Okay, so currently I don't need this training tally. Let me take my live tally. This is my books of accounts. Okay, and let us take April month, Gstr2 reconciliation. Okay, that is for my input tax credit. So I'll just log in with my books of accounts into tally. So let me just go to Gstr2. This is for the month of April. So for the month of April, so on the top you could see my GST number 29 AGYPM 02570 1Z2. That is my GST number. On this, I have taxable amount of 1,04,000 and I have an input tax credit of 18,000 rupees. And if I just click on show in separate columns, it is showing me, okay, my B2B invoices, total taxable value is 1,04,000. I have paid in central tax of 9,300, state tax of 9,300, which is available for me for input tax credit. Now this is in my books of accounts. I could just enter and see party wise, okay, from which party, how much of input tax I have got, because these are all my purchase bill. Okay, so there is an invoice number, invoice date, supplier name, invoice value, place of supply, taxable amount. It's available, what is central tax and what is state tax and what is available tax. Okay. Now, let me cross check this with my GST portal, whether Tally India Private Limited, have they uploaded the invoice? Big C, have they uploaded the invoice? Systec, have they uploaded the invoice? 3 Systec made this thing. And Venkatesh, my landlord, has he uploaded the invoice or not? Okay, so I'll get into GST portal. gst.gov.in. Okay, I'm logging with my user credentials. Nine four 8904. The credential is wrong. Why 385994? Yeah. So I have logged in. So it is showing me the common portal, returns filing preference, April to June. I am on monthly filing. Return calendar, last 5 returns. Okay, so which are all the things that I need to file? So currently I'm on a monthly filing. Okay, so now I need to do a Gstr2 reconciliation. So what will I do? I'll just click on continue with return dashboard. Okay, I'll just go to return dashboard. So I want to look at which return 21-22, April to June for the month of April, quarterly returns for the month of April. Okay, so here I have auto drafted GSTR2 for 2A for reconciliation. I'll just view and I'll show it to you, then we will download this. When I click on this, I get here which are all the B2B invoices which has been filed. Is this the B2B invoices that was filed? ZVC India. Okay, they have filed. So now I could look at ZVC India. I have not accounted this bill. It's not available. Bharti Airtel, I have not accounted. Bharti Airtel is not here. Okay, then Tally India, yes, I have accounted. There is one invoice. Now let me just look at, is this matching? Okay, so 29 AA's CT 3705 E1ZJ. Is this matching? GST number. Okay, so we look at the GST number. It is just showing the invoices and all the details. So there is one Tally India. Okay, then there is one Big C. Yes, I have got one Big C transaction. There are 3 transactions of Systec. There is one Tata Sky account. Okay, so there are 3 transactions of Systec. Have they filed? It's saying filing status is no. They have still not filed, but they have uploaded their invoices. If I click on this GST number, see here, it is showing 3 invoices. Is this showing 3 invoices? And this is showing 4 invoices, but I have only 3 invoices with me. So I have missed one more invoice that I need to check. Then I have back. Okay, then I could look at the next one. Then there is Vensol IT services that I have not updated. Okay. So now what I could do is I could download this. Say example, if I want to download, okay, not the CSV format, I want to download the whole complete GSTR2. Okay. So what I'll do is I will just click on back. I'm just going back to my April GSTR 2A auto drafted statement for the month GSTR 2B. Then there is 3B. I'll just download this. Okay, generate a JSON file. I'll just click on this, generate this JSON file. Okay, it says it will take around 20 minutes to get this file because it gets generated. It will not be immediately available. Okay, I need to wait for some time. Okay, we'll come back to this. It will take some 10-15 minutes to generate this file from the department portal. Okay, then we can download this file. So it says your request for generation of JSON or Excel to download is acknowledged and is in process. It might take around 20 minutes of time. I could just refresh and check, is this file available here for me to download? Okay, so I'll come to that. By meantime, let us go to Tally. Okay, so how do I reconcile? Okay, so here when I get into GSTR2, okay, either I could see the status wise view here. So I'll just explain you what more that you could look at here. You could look at the status wise. So here it is showing it's available only in books. I have not updated from the department details. Okay. So sorry, I'll just say GSTR2. This is what we are looking at. Okay. So what I could also do is I could also extract, when I extract this, I could import this file, load JSON. Okay, so this we will do it. Let that get extracted. Then we will do it. Then it will start getting auto reconciled. Okay, and we could see how much of this transaction have got reconciled. Okay, so let me just look at this. Okay, still it's not available. Okay. So as it will take a few more minutes, okay, I could also explain to you about GSTR1. Currently, I have not filed any GSTR1. Okay, so due date is 26th. Yesterday was the due date. I have not filed this. So tomorrow I'll show you how to file this and how to update and how to file the GSTR 3B and everything. Okay. So you need not worry about that. Okay. So tomorrow we'll do this. So this will take some time. Okay. We'll move forward. We'll come back as it's taking some time to generate this. We'll revert back on this. Okay. So the next topic on after the GSTR2 reconciliation is GST payable. How do we compute the GST payable? So as I told you, the GST heads are in different heads like the state tax, the state GST, the central GST, and the integrated GST. So the balance is available in all the heads. For example, since I've taken my own data, I'll just show it to you. Okay, so if I look at my display, accounts book, group summary of GST, input GST. If I look the input GST, I have input GST of 5,80,000 because I have not done any lot of adjustments. I have not done. Okay, it also has the opening balance, some opening balance. Okay, but for the month, if you look at, there is 8,913 of input CGST and zero amount of IGST. There is no IGST and 8,900 rupees of input SGST. I don't have any cess. Okay, similarly, if you look at output GST under duties and taxes. Okay, again, this has the opening balance. You need to remove the opening balance. Okay, you need to take only the summary of the transactions for the month. I have 26,966 of credit, and there is one reversal entry of 486, and there is zero of IGST and the same 26,966 of output SGST. If you look at here, it is showing you the individual transaction wise details. How much of GST is output GST is available. Okay. So why is purchase coming under this? I think, see, this is a mistake of entry that I have done. It should be input CGST, input is GST. Okay. So there was a mistake. I have just changed this. So it goes out of this transaction. So there are some of the transactions. I need to clear a lot of transaction. So this we will look at tomorrow, how to file this based on the GSTR1 that we have. Okay. Now what it typically says is, if you have an excess of CGST, so CGST output versus input, when you do that, you have an output of say like 1,000 rupees of output and 900 rupees of input. So your output is more. Okay. So then no problem, you have to wait. Assume that your output is 900 and your input is 1,000 rupees. So you have an excess of CGST output. So what they do is they will allow you to set off against, first against CGST, then if there is any balance left out, you can adjust against IGST. That is integrated tax. Similarly, SGST, first you have to adjust against SGST, then the balance left out, you need to adjust against IGST, that is integrated tax. For an IGST, if you have excess of IGST as input tax credit, first you need to adjust against IGST. If the balance is left out, you can adjust against CGST. Still, if the balance is left out, you can adjust against SGST. So this is the way in which you need to adjust in respect to that order only. For example, if you have excess of IGST, you can't first adjust against SGST and then come back to CGST. First, you have to adjust against CGST. Still, if you have balance, you have to adjust against SGST. And today, most of the adjustments are automated in the GST portal. Okay, based on the input tax credit that is available for you. So, relatively, your work will be much more easier to do if you are following the GST. portal. Okay, so fine. Let me just look at the GST portal. Have they given? Sorry, I should not have gone here. It's not May returns. It is April returns. Gstr2. Click on download. It's still no, it's not still available. Okay, I think I need to wait for different sections for more details. Okay, so click here. It has come. So I'm just clicking here. I'm just downloading the JSON file. Okay, it is a encrypted file. JSON is an encrypted format. Okay, so I've just got this file. Okay, which is in the compressed manner. Okay, I'll decompress this, or I could also have in the compressed manner itself. Okay, that's not an issue. I could also decompress. Okay, so this is the file which is available for me. Now I can just upload this file to my Tally and do an auto adjustment. So I'll just show it to you. I'll come to Tally now. So what I'll do is I will first go to Gstr2. I've got to Gstr2 for the month of April, and I have downloaded the file from GST Portal. Now I'm importing load JSON file. I'm just clicking this load JSON file, and where is this file located? I'm just specifying the path under which the file is saved. So I'm just taking this as path, copying this path and pasting it over here. Okay. Others one returns. Okay. This is the JSON file, right? It is not recognizing. Okay. Why it is not recognizing? Okay, let me just check this. Okay, so import load JSON, or 1 second, let me just save it out. These are all folders, it is not showing any files. Okay. Specify location, 1 second. Just returns of Gstr2A R2A others of JSON file. Yeah, so when you click on this, it is showing you the file which is available on this path. So you're just selecting the path and clicking on enter. Then it is showing you the file name. So it is just reading the same file, whichever is available in this thing called returns 2705. That is the date in which you are downloaded, 2705/2021. R2A, that is reconciliation 2A, and the GST number R2A others in the JSON file. Okay, and it says what is the GST number, period for April 21, modified on 27th April at 1945, that is 7:45. Just click on enter. So it has updated. You saw that the progress bar which got updated, and now it is saying the file loaded successfully. Total number of invoices loaded is 12. Update reconciliation of invoice status. I'll just say yes. It is updating the reconciliation of the invoice status. Now look at here. You are able to see a lot of things on blue. Okay, so typically it is saying, okay, if the invoices are saved on by your supplier on the GST portal, but the return is not submitted, then the number of such invoice without any key references will appear. Okay, it's giving some notes also. Now, if you look at, as per my books, I have 6 transactions. Okay, and as per the portal which has got adjusted is for only for 4. Other 2 it has not got adjusted. So if you want to look at the details, click on enter. Now it is showing all the details. So it is showing the first one, ZVC India. This invoice, it is showing, if it is showing in blue, it is saying it's available on the portal, but it's not available in your books of accounts. So I have not accounted the purchase bill, but this bill is available on the portal and the supplier has updated. Similarly, Bharti Airtel, similarly, Tally India. So if you look at Tally India, okay, there are two invoices. See here, number of invoices, 2. Again, you click on enter. It is showing 2 invoices, status updated, invoice number, invoice date, invoice value. Okay, status is new, 1800. So this has, so here on the bottom, you could see here, grand total as per the portal, 8496. As per the books is 6372. And total taxable 7,200 and 5,400. Okay, so like this, you can actually import that and you could do a reconciliation in Tally. When this will help you is I'll tell you. See, in my books of accounts, I hardly have some 7-8 transactions, so I can know it by mind. I can just count and I can say whether everything is there or not. But in your business, you might have hundreds of purchases. It will become manually just impossible for you to cross check and say whether each transaction has been uploaded by your supplier or not. But what this will do is, it will just give you on a click of a button, it will get adjusted and it will tell you how many entries are matching, how many entries are not matching, okay, and how many entries require data entry that is needs to be updated on your system. So here it is saying status uploaded. For all these transactions, the status is uploaded. Okay, so these transaction entries I need to do. Okay, available only in books, which is saying Venkatesh landlord, I have accounted it, but they have not uploaded in GSTR portal. They have not filed their returns. So it is just showing available only in books. And this it is showing save transaction that can mark as new when exporting. So typically these are the transactions where the supplier has filed his GSTR1, but sorry, he has uploaded his GSTR1, but filing is still pending. Okay, so there are 3 buckets. The first bucket, which is saying it has been uploaded, okay, and the status is new, means it's not available in my books of accounts. Then the second portion, it is saying it's available only in my books of accounts in Tally, but not in the portal. The third one, it is saying which are all new transactions, which I need to check. These things have been uploaded, but they have not filed their GSTR1. So still, I don't get this credit. Okay. So if you are doing this, say example, if you have 100 purchases in a month, on a click of a button, I'm sure that 90% of the transactions will match. Only another 10% that you need to start checking where is the problem and rectify that. Then your GSTR2 will be ready. Okay. So I'm just coming out of this. If I just come out, it will ask, do you want to save this? Or do you want to exit without saving? See, next time when you log in, you want to have this information which you have uploaded or not. Okay. So this is the most effective way where you can do your GSTR2 reconciliation with the live data that is available on GST portal, which will typically tell you, is there any difference between your books of accounts and whatever the input tax credit that's available on the portal. And let me tell you, I have seen my clients where they were struggling to do this. Now on a click of a button, okay, within half an hour, within 20 minutes, they will finish this reconciliation. Okay, and whatever I have shown you is live. I have taken my books of accounts for the month of April. I've just downloaded the JSON file from the department website and I've uploaded into Tally and I'm showing it to you live. This is not a training data. Okay. Hope this is clear. Are there any questions on this? Girja,
Sir.
if they have filed last month GST, then how to reconcile? I didn't understand, Girja. What is your question? Can you talk?
So some people don't file on that month only. Next month,
Correct.
this month they will file on next month.
Correct.
How in Tally I can't month wise I am doing reconciliation. Then how can I reconcile of last month, sir?
See, this is bound to happen because example I will give you where all you will have this problem. You might be filing on a monthly basis, but your supplier might be filing on a quarterly basis. So in that case, say example, if you have purchased in the month of April, you have uploaded your April GSTR1 and you want to reconcile, but that guy is only uploading in the month of July.
Yes, sir.
So you have to wait till July. You don't have a choice.
Okay.
Government is not going to give you the input tax credit because this person has not filed his returns.
That's correct.
Okay, so you can claim only in July after he filing.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that is how it works.
Okay.
Or let me take month by month also. So like example, you are also filing monthly and your supplier is also filing monthly, but one supplier he has not uploaded, he has not filed.
Yes.
Then it will not reconcile on the screen. Okay, and you will not get that input tax credit. You have to wait till he files. He might file in next month or after 3 months he might file. You have to wait till that time, then do the reconciliation and claim this money.
Okay. Okay, thanks, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Sir, Narendra here.
Yes, Narendra.
Sir, this you imported, no, sir, JSON file.
Correct.
This to be, I mean, should we do some reconciliation? Some I didn't understand this one, this step, sir.
Okay. See, what I'm saying is,
Sir.
Tally is your accounting records, right?
Yes, sir.
That is available with you. That is not available with GST.
Yes, sir.
But what is happening is, from whomever you are purchasing, you get the input tax credit.
Yes, sir.
Only if he files.
Yeah.
Just because he has given you the invoice doesn't mean that you will get the input tax credit.
Sir.
Okay, it is just a document for you.
Okay, sir.
But still he files. Government is very clear saying that for you to get an input tax credit, your supplier has to file first. If he
Yes, sir.
fails to file, you will not get the input tax credit. Now the problem starts. I have done 100 purchases. How many have them have filed and how many have them have not filed? If someone has not filed, I need to call, follow up with them and tell them, please file, otherwise I'll not get my input tax credit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this reconciliation is helping you to do that.
Yes, sir.
So now I have 100 invoices in my Tally as
Yes,
input tax credit. Now I'm checking in my portal. Portal has 86 invoice. Now I need to identify which are that 14 invoice. Now doing that manually will take time because first I need to look at my 100 invoice. Then there is 86 invoice. One to one I need to start matching and say which are the 14 invoices which is not filed.
Yes, sir.
That if you have 100 transaction, I am telling you easily it will take 2 to 3 hours for somebody to sit and check.
Yes, sir.
You can simplify that just by downloading the JSON file and uploading to your Tally so that your Tally will tell you how many are mismatched, means how many transactions that you have accounted but that's not available in GST portal, or how many transactions are available in GST portal but you have not accounted, and how many transactions are matched. All three types will be there.
Yes, sir.
The example you took my books of accounts. I have not accounted the telephone bill. So
Yes.
Bharti Airtel bill I have not accounted.
Yes, sir.
The reason is I've done an online payment. I forgot to account that bill. I've just made a payment.
Yes, sir.
Now I need to account that bill. Then only it will match. So effectively, okay, see, one thing that you need to understand, the basic design of GST. If your supplier doesn't file returns, take it from me, you will not get the input tax credit. Okay, now how will that affect? It's an example I'll tell you. So initially I was giving an example of Parle-G biscuit, right?
Yes, sir.
So now let us take the same example of Parle-G biscuit. Prasad is the distributor, Mahesh is the retailer. Okay, Parle-G is charged at 12%. Okay.
Yeah.
Prasad is earning, he is a distributor, he is earning 1.5%. Okay, I'm a retailer, I'm earning 5%. Now, I have bought from Prasad 10,000 rupees worth of Parle-G biscuit. And Prasad has given me a bill, 10,000 plus 12%, that is 1,200, 11,200 rupee bill. And I have paid 11,200 rupees to Prasad. And I have sold this materials also. Now Prasad has failed to upload this invoice. Okay. Now government is saying, sorry Mahesh, I can't give you this 1,200 rupee input tax credit. But I've already paid to 11,200 to Prasad.
Yes, sir.
Now Prasad, for some reason, he is not filing, which is beyond my control.
Yes, sir.
So now what is going to happen is, I lost that 1,200 rupees. Now, the product, assume that I have sold all this 10,000 rupee worth of product. My margin is only 5%. And I want only 500 rupees from that margin. But my 12% has got struck with Prasad. Prasad has not filed. So if you look at the whole transaction, there is a loss of 7%.
700.
And this business becomes unviable. Even though I am getting 5% margin, because my supplier is not uploading, I lose this money. Now, what is going to happen on a sustained basis? I cannot sustain. If I have only Parle-G as a business, I cannot sustain because it's a loss proposition. And I don't have any control on Prasad. Prasad will say, boss, I know when to file. Who are you to tell me? I have given the bill. You have paid money. Meaning, I cannot take Prasad to court. Okay, so this is one. Now, what is going to happen because of this? If Prasad starts doing that on a regular basis, will I deal with Prasad? I'll say, sorry, Prasad, I can't further buy from you. This business is not unviable because I am under loss. Now, I will start searching the alternate suppliers who will continue to supply to me and who are continuously uploading their invoices. It is not just supplying to me. I want someone who will continue to upload their invoice. Otherwise, I will start losing the credit.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the reason when I showed you on the other day, I told you could go to any GST portal and you could, even without logging in, you could search any GST number. So like this, which is available on my screen. Okay, say example, I'll just show you right now. Okay, I'll not save this. I'll say exit without saving. Okay, so let me just take randomly one of my customer. Okay, so I don't know, I'll just say for integrated electrical company. Okay, I have a GST number. Now I could go and check, give this GST number 188562. Okay, so it's saying integrated electrical company, address all these details in which they deal, show table filing. He has uploaded for April also. Means what? He's filing on a monthly basis. No worry. I could continue to deal with him. So my input tax will not have any problem. That is what it says. So now what has happened is, even before, if I want to deal with any suppliers, while I discuss with him about the prices, about how much of credit days that he is going to give and everything, I will also ask him, sir, can you please share your GST number and come here and find out, is he regular in his filing his returns or is he irregular? If he is irregular, then I need to be a little careful. If he is regular, like integrated electrical company, where on live I am able to see they are filing their returns without any problem, then I don't have any problem dealing with them because I get my input tax credit. Okay.
Sir, I have a small question.
Yeah.
What is the status which is showing you failed here?
Filed.
Filed.
It is not failed.
Already uploaded the data.
Yeah, they have already uploaded the data.
Okay, thank
They
you.
have filed their returns.
Okay.
Clear one. Okay. So
Okay.
which typically means if a customer doesn't get input tax credit because his supplier is not filing, so now it is not the government is chasing the supplier. Even the customers are chasing the supplier to file their returns. Okay. This is one more type of Swachh Bharat scheme. So those who are not regularly filing, those who are not transparent in their transaction, those who doesn't want to be transparent and deal in the right way, over a period of time, it might not happen within a day or two, but over a period of time, the high chances of they losing the business. This is one. But there are a lot of loopholes also here. Say example, both supplier and customers, if they talk together and if they say, okay, you don't show your purchase bill, I don't show my sales bill, and they start dealing with cash, no one can help. Okay. Any
Yes, sir.
questions?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bijoy, any time limit for filing GST return? Yes. Time limits are there. Okay. For GSTR1, there is a time. If you are filing on a monthly, you need to file before 12th of the consecutive month. Say example, for April returns, you need to file by 12th May. 11th or 12th May. That is one day. I don't know. It depends. Okay. Then for GSTR3B, that is your monthly returns, you need to file by 20th of the consecutive month. Example, for April returns, you need to file before 20th May. Now, because of this COVID and everything, they have extended it. Otherwise, it remains either 21 or 20th or 21st max. Depends on which state and various things, because different states have different filing date. That is the last date for filing.
Sir, just I have one more question. This is a different scenario.
Yes.
Usually what we do is we do the invoicing on fortnightly basis. My challenge is I already done the invoice. I need to pay. Actually, I need to file GST, means I need to pay GST amount already. Unfortunately, from my invoice, I have not even received the amount. How do you manage these issues?
You have to be, how do you manage this issue is you have to discuss with your customers and renegotiate the payment details.
Receivables, that means it is actually the money will be going on now from our pocket, because usually receivables, it takes around about 20 days or 15 days or 45 days credit, 30 days credit, 65 days, 60 days credit.
Yes.
So in that condition, when we file this, from the day one, I need to, next month, I need to pay GST for this invoice.
Correct.
When I have not even received the amount.
Right.
So how are we going to pay tax on the amount which is not even received?
That problem was there earlier also. Even in VAT, that problem was there. Even in sales tax, that problem was there. I have billed, but if my supplier, if my customer has not paid, next month I need to pay my VAT. See, this problem is not because of GST. This problem is perennial, irrespective of the tax. If my customer doesn't pay in time, And if the due date is come, I have to pay from my pocket. Okay. But what has happened now is in GST, you don't get input tax credit. Earlier, input tax credit was made available irrespective whether your supplier files or not.
Correct.
Now they have also curtailed on input tax credit. Okay, see now government has become like one more business unit.
Correct.
Okay, government is saying, boss, ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗಾರು ಹೊಡೆದಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ supplier customer ನನಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ ಕರ್ಮ, ಅದು ನೀವ್ ಏನಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ನನ್ನ ದುಡ್ಡು ನನ್ನ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಕಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೈಯಿಂಗ್. ಅಂಡ್ ನಾನ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. Okay, see, reason I'll tell you, with this one fix in the GST law that they have done, do you know what is the amount that government is saving every month?
Even crores.
It's not just in crores, it is in thousands of crores.
Correct. Definitely.
Because people were playing with this. Say example, we both come to an agreement. Okay, sir, Narendra sir, ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ 10 crores ಒಂದು ಬಿಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಟ್ಟಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ನೀವು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 18%, 10 crores 1.8 crores. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ನಿಮ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 1.8 crores ಬಂತು. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಬಿಲ್ಲು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನು 3 ವರ್ಷ. ಆ 1.8 crores ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ 20%, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 80%. Something will deal. Who is under loss?
Government.
Yeah, government is under loss. See, government is trying to fix where were the loopholes basically, and this is one of the critical loopholes because we are seeing this since the launch of GST. Okay, we are hearing every month saying that this much of fake invoice was done, this many crores of fake invoice were done, all these things. Okay, now government, see, technology has allowed them to do that. Otherwise, manually, you can't even think of scanning billions of invoices. But today, technology with the big data, with intelligence, it has made available. They can pinpoint which invoice someone is taking excess of credit.
Correct.
Okay, and it's a gradual process. This system, it has not come within one day.
Correct.
Now it is 4 years that GST has been launched.
Start evolving in every time.
Yeah, start evolving over a period of time. Okay, this becomes much more
robust,
transparent, much more robust. Okay, as I told you, it is 100% Swachh Bharat scheme. Okay, over a period of time, if the same thing continues with this kind of transparency, take it from me, a lot of people will shut down their business. Not because they are not able to do business, because they are not able to do the transparent business.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, any other questions on this? So, once when you actually file your GSTR1 and GSTR2B, okay, then the portal will ask you for making the online payment. The portal itself will compute the tax and tell you what is the tax payable. Okay, based on the similar kind of adjustment what I had showed you, based on this, okay, the GST portal itself will compute the tax and it will tell you under what head how much of tax is payable. So any tax which is more than 5,000, you can't pay it in cash. You have to do a bank transfer only, or you have to pay through check. Department will not accept cash. You cannot go on the counter and deposit cash to government account, which is more than 5,000. They will not accept. It has to be on online transfer or the check. So you have to do an online transfer, then file your GSTR3B. So this we will completely look at tomorrow on a live data on my company data. live we will look at, and we will do an online payment also on the portal and see how to update and see how we could file our GSTR1, GSTR3B online payment and filing of GSTR3B reports. Okay. So are there any questions with today's discussion? Further, if there are any questions, I can take it. So we have come to the end of today's session. Okay, as every day, I'm just requesting, okay, if you could share your inputs and feedback on our WhatsApp group, either through video or the audio message. Okay, we'll be grateful for that. And looking at our organization, okay, so we are the 5-star certified partners for Tally for sales and implementation. We have more than 350 satisfied customers with us. We do custom specific trainings. We do customization on Tally, integrations on Tally to integrate third-party applications. Okay, and we sell Tally software. We do services. We renew the Tally software. So any requirement on Tally, please contact us on these numbers. We'll be happy to help you out. So I'll be there on the call for next 2 minutes. If anyone has any questions, you could ask. Okay, or either you could chat or you could come on voice and ask the question. Else, we are closing the session for the day. Tomorrow we will again meet at 7 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
ಸರ್ ಶಿವ್
Hello, Shiv.
ಸರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ರಿಕನ್ಸೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವೋಂಟ್ ಡುಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
See, multiple matches ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, GST ನಂಬರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಮೂರು ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಲಿ MINV
ಹಲೋ ಶಿವ್, ಇದೀರಾ
ಸರ್? ಒಂದ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸರ್, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮ್ ಇವಾಗ ಚಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದೀನಿ MINV/2021-1898. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ಈ ತರ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇದು ಈ ತರ ನಮ್ದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಟೈಪ್. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ 1980 ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀವ್ ಈ ತರ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ, ಸಪ್ಲೈಯರ್ ಈ ತರ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ?
ಸಪ್ಲೈಯರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ.
ಸಪ್ಲೈಯರ್ ಏನ್ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನೇ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
ಅವಾಗ ನಂಗೆ ನ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸರ್?
ಹೌದು, ನ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ವೈಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ 16 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, 16 ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಮೊದಲಲ್ಲಿ 4, 5, 2, 7, 8, 10, 11, 4, 15 ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಫೈನ್. 16 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ನರೇಂದ್ರ. ಯಾ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಚೇತನ್. Okay, are there any more questions? Okay, so I'm logging off. Thank you, everyone.